Where is that? Authenticator. 357390. Okay. So what we did yesterday, yesterday we created public private buckets, and then we worked on versioning, we went and see so many options and static website hosting. Those are done. So let's see a few more tabs there. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a bucket first to see the rest of the options. So I call it as 9 a.m. demo test bucket. It's enable. So let it be private and create. Let's see what we have there and then move. Yeah, we go inside. Okay. So in properties, we have seen all these things, right? So except this intelligent tier archive configurations. So this one, do you see this enable object stored in intelligent tier storage class to tear down to archive access or deep access when are optimized for the objects that really access for longer period of time. So basically, whichever guys, what is the default storage class? What we have? Standard frequently accessed, correct? So if at all you have intelligent tier storage classes and those are not getting used frequently, and if you want to archive it to archive access tier or deep archive access tier, you can create the configurations for it. So you just give the name, right? And then give the prefix if you want to do it for entire all objects, and then enable it. So you want to move all these intelligent tier storage classes to archive to at what number of days, right? Or if you want to go to the deep archive, what the number of days. So it is just for intelligent tier. Okay. So coming to this permissions. So guys, anytime we can go ahead. Hey, by the way, did you understood this? Intelligent tier archive configurations. Chiti. So this is just only the configuration where if you want to move, yes, like LCM only, if you want to move intelligent tier storage classes to archive access, deep archive access, then you can move it, which are rarely accessed for longer period of time. Hmm. So if you come into the permissions, anytime you can go ahead and then make it public. So I created a private bucket, no? So if you want to make it public, you can make it public. But if you have a public bucket and if you want to make it private, yes, go ahead and then just matter of check or uncheck. Right? Bucket policy, I'll give you access console list. We have seen, right? You can grant permissions. Let's talk on CORS. So do you remember we discussed on the CORS? So should I, to check that, should I create two buckets? First, let's say CORS bucket one, I called as CORS bucket one and try to upload some index.html file. Hmm? And then I'll have another file, let's say load.html. So can I call this load.html file in index.html file? Guys, and enable static website hosting. When I open this index.html, so I should get index.html as well as load.html, correct? Because I have the load.html in the same bucket, right? This is one scenario. Now, next time I'll create another bucket and I'll put load.html. I'll upload load.html file, and then I'll try to call this load.html from another bucket to this index.html. Will this work? No, until we go ahead and give the course here. So now should we go and create a bucket called course bucket one and try to upload index.html and load.html and enable static website hosting and open index.html file? That is the first task. So let's go ahead and create a buckets accordingly. Create bucket. So call it as 9 a.m. course bucket one. So it's just enabled. So it is, I need to enable the static website hosting. So I need to unblock it. I want to go with the public one. Versioning up to you. Create bucket. So course bucket one. So here, should I go ahead? So for this course, so guys, I have index.html and load.html. So should I open index.html and see? Show you. See here. Guys, this is a small index.html here. Very, it's a HTML code. So in index.html, I'm just showing a header called AWS S3 course demo. And I'm just calling load.html from the same directory. This load. What is this load.html? That's not, it is loading from same bucket. So if you edit that, there's nothing. It just, you see, this is loading from same bucket. So if you see index.html, everyone understood what is there in this index.html? So just only one heading, and I'm just calling load.html, a small one-line JavaScript. So should I go ahead and upload this index.html and load.html in my bucket? Okay, so I'm just going and uploading these two things here. So hold on. Did I saved it? Okay, saved it. Upload it. Upload. So as this is a website, so I need to go ahead and make public. Okay. And how to enable static website hosting? So go here and then edit, enable it, and I put it as index.html. Does everyone understood? And I'm trying to access it. So if I open this, do you see this, guys? So I'm getting AWS course demo, which is from index.html, and also I'm getting this one from my load.html because it is in the same bucket. So I'm able to get this load.html page. Is this clear? Getting it? Understood what I'm doing? City, non-IT? Okay. Now, should I go ahead and create one more bucket? Says course bucket 2. Create bucket. Call it as 9 a.m. course bucket 2. Okay. It is enable. Block. This is a public one. Create bucket. So here, what is the file object that I need to upload in bucket 2? So in bucket 2, I'll upload load.html. Super. Load.html. I upload it. I should make it public. Yes, I should make it public. So this public wala, so can I get the URL? This is the URL. So I'll put, so is it possible directly to go ahead in course bucket 1 and then edit index.html here directly? No. So I'll open my index.html. Instead of load.html here, I just put it here, the whole link. I'm calling it from other origin. So I have updated my index.html. So I need to go ahead and upload it again back. Index.html. Yes. So index.html, I go and upload it again because I have modified it. So after modifying it also, you need to give the make public. Guys, now if I refresh this will come or this will disappear. Guys, I'm calling from other bucket. Will it load? It will not load. So if I refresh, it's gone. Why? So if you go and inspect the element in the network, in the console, do you see this here? Errors? Can you read this? Has been blocked by CORS. Understood? So now I'm not able to get the file of CORS bucket 2 because of this is blocking, because cross origin is not sharing here. So I need to go ahead and then add a CORS code where, in bucket 1 or bucket 2? Super. So let me go to bucket 2. And if you go to permissions, if you come all the way down, you see the CORS. Correct? So where is the CORS code? Do you see learn more here? So if you opened it, it should be somewhere there. CORS configuration. Click on it. And do you see this here? This is the small code that you need to copy it. So here, do you see this allowed origins? So you can give which URL that you should give it here? Bucket 1 URL or bucket 1 load.html. So you need to give, yes, you need to give it here, right? Bucket 1 details. Yes. Otherwise, you can put star. If you put star, it will be allowed by all. So I'll give star and see, edit it, and then paste it. Either you can give this URL, this whole URL, or I'll just put star. So if you put only the URL, so you are restricted. That means you are restricting only to one. So that is a best practice. If you put star, you are opening to this bucket. You are opening to everyone to access it. I mean, to access the pages, to share the resources. So save changes now. So here I have saved it. Now if I refresh it, what will happen? It will come. Yes, let's see. Do you see this, guys? This is loading from another bucket. Guys, understood how to solve your CORS issues? Everyone? Nice. Good. So that is on permissions. If you come to metrics, so guys, if you have your bucket a huge size, so how do you find out your bucket size? So you come here to metrics, and if your bucket is like how much size you have, it will be displayed here using the graph. Because now we don't have any data, that's the reason why there is no data to display. And it shows the total bucket size, it shows the total number of objects. And you have your storage class analysis. So let's say you have thousands of objects here in your bucket, and you want to create LCM rule, but you don't know which objects are getting used frequently or which objects are not using it frequently. And if you want to analyze your storage classes, so you can create the configuration here. Do you see this? Storage class analysis. What it does, analyze storage access patterns to help you to decide when to transition objects to the appropriate storage class. You cannot simply chumma go ahead and then move it from FA to IA to that and Glacier. No. So first of all, if you have already the information, you can go ahead and do it. Otherwise, you can create and you can do the analysis. How? Create configuration, give the name, and you want it only for particular prefix or entire bucket, select it and then enable it. So that CSV file is nothing but it's like an Excel sheet. You can browse in which bucket that, let's say, for example, you can, so choose path. So you can just put some bucket name here, right? And the CSV will be uploaded. So here there is a question, guys. Storage class analysis reports can be saved into the same account S3 bucket, and you can save it in the different account, different S3 bucket also by providing the ID. Write down this. So shared storage class analysis report file. The CSV file can be placed in S3 bucket of same account and S3 bucket of different account. Siraj, in the both buckets, you need to see it now whether it's working or not. So in bucket one, you'll upload load.html. And you don't give the full path, just give load.html. And later you create another bucket, you upload load.html, and you have that object URL. No, you take that URL and give it to the index.html. So you should put both. So here, yes. Got it, guys? Okay. So that is on storage class analysis. Replication metrics. You can see what are the objects are getting replicated, what is the replication time and all. To do this, first of all, we need to do something on management. This replication rules, once we create a replication rules, then only we can go and enable it. But is it clear on the metrics? City, there's nothing to do, just only a storage class analysis here. If you come to management, then you have LCM rules, lifecycle rules, and replication rules. Right? So let's take number one by one. Life cycle rules. Life cycle rules is nothing but our LCM. Can we take that example, guys? Can we take that example? Which example? Moving the storage class from frequently accessed to infrequently and from infrequently to Glacier. Should we take that rule and create it as an example? Yes, how to do it. So let's go ahead and click on create lifecycle rule, for example. So create lifecycle rule. Call it as, give some rule, give some name. You want to do it only for the subfolder or for the whole bucket, depend upon you, your requirement, you can select it. And here I told you in lifecycle management, you have two actions. What are those? Transition and expiration. Transition and expiration. Transition and expiration. Okay, so now, and also did we learn that your lifecycle rules can be applied to the current versions and previous versions also? Yes. Okay, do you see this here? Let's create a rule. Move current versions of the objects between the storage classes or move non-current. Okay, it's up to you. Current versions or non-current versions. So if you select current versions, so you have a timeline. You have your timeline here. So do you see this here? So already your objects are in frequently access. You want to move it to where? What is our requirement? You can move it to anywhere here, but my requirement is to move to standard IA. What is the after when do you create? What is the minimum number of days required? 30. That is a minimum. But the thing is days after object creation. So after creating, so the object is created. That meaning after 30 days, you can move it to IA. After 30 days, you can move it to IA. So 30 is minimum. You can put 40 also, no issues. But minimum is 30. Is it possible to put 20? No. Do you see this? A minimum 30 days is required. So I'll put 30. So that meaning after the object, so once day 0, object created. Day 30, it will be moved to standard IA. And then add transition. You can add it. So from IA, you can move to intelligent tire, one zone, glacier, deep glacier, up to you. So you want to move it to where? Let's say, for example, glacier flexible retriever, for example. Okay, or glacier instance retrieval. So both are same here. Here, it is like 90 days. That meaning once a quarter. This is once a year. If you want to retrieve it. Okay, yeah. So let's say, for example, here instance. So how many days required here? Minimum 90 days. But the object is there already in how many days? 30 days. So minimum 60. So is it possible to put 50? No. Minimum 60 days. Got it? Now, in Glacier, you have the data. And add. So now you have, now where you want to move? Okay, now we have moved to the Glacier. Now do you see this here? Expire current object. So if you want expiry after 365 days, in the Glacier, it will go and delete the file. See, it's purely depend upon your requirement. It's purely depend upon your requirement. Did you got it? So you can, from here, you can move to only these two, right? And then you want it to, so we did for the current versions. If you want non-current, select that and you will get again the transitions. And you have permanently delete non-current and delete expired object, delete markers, all these things you can remove. Do you see this here? So day 0, object will is uploaded. After day 30th, object will move to standard IA. After day 60, it will move to the Glacier. After day 65, objects will expire. So if you want to create a rule, create rule. So like this, you can create the rules for different prefixes or subfolders. But if you want to have a rule for the entire bucket, you can create the entire bucket scope, or else the scope can be limited to your subfolders. Is it clear how you can disable, enable it if at all you want? You can edit it. You can delete it. City, is this clear? How to set up lifecycle rules? No. Current standard frequently accessed by default. Okay. Now we have seen the lifecycle rules. Should we see the replication rules now? What is replication rules meaning? Your CRR and SRR. So that meaning, should we need to create two buckets now? Bucket 1 like bucket 2, or source and destination like any, you can give any name. And we'll try to create a rule and then let's see the replications. Yes, let's create a bucket. So call it as 9 a.m. replication bucket 1. So ACS enable. Doesn't matter, it can be public or private. So for CRR, I told you versioning is mandatory, correct? So we need to enable the versioning there. Did you are following? Yes. So now enable it, versioning, enable it, and then create bucket. So we need to create one more bucket. Call it as 9 a.m. replication bucket 2, for example. So guys, if I'm creating it in the same region, it will be SRR. So if you're creating in different region, then it will be CRR. I'm selecting it in another region, SLS enable, and I'll be going and enable the versioning. Create bucket. Okay, now. So now you want to replicate from which bucket to which bucket? Bucket 1 to bucket 2. So the rule should be created where? In bucket 1 or bucket 2? Yes. Go to replication bucket 1, go to management, and here replication rules is there. So create replication rule. Okay. Give some rule name, call it as my replication from Mumbai to Ireland. Should not give this much big name, but I'm just giving some. Okay. So here, source bucket is your bucket 1 from Mumbai. Guys, you want to replicate the whole entire bucket or you want to replicate subfolder? Up to you. So I'm just replicating the whole bucket. Okay. So before I create this, should I upload one file already and see existing files? Will it ask for it? So bucket 1, I'll try to upload some file. Okay. I'll just open, upload. Okay. So now I'll go to create replication rule, give some name. Okay. So I want to replicate the whole bucket. And destination, where is your destination bucket? Did I told you that destination can be in the same bucket or it can be another account also, in this account and another account also? Yes. So choose the bucket in this account. Which bucket we need to choose? Guys, if you are choosing bucket 2 here, which is in Ireland, if you are choosing the bucket which is in Mumbai, which will become SRR, now this is the CRR. The only difference is that only. Okay. So we'll ask AWS itself to create a role, right? And then all these options you have it, guys. Encryption. So do you want to replicate the objects which are encrypted? If required, select it. Simple. Okay. If at all, guys, based on the requirement, you should do it. You have all the options. So now the object that you are replicating, the storage classes also should replicate the same, or you want to change the storage class? Up to you. If you want to change, select it. And while replicating, it should be standard IA to which one you want to replicate, you can replicate. It's depend upon requirement. And additional replication options, we have RTC, replication time control. You can control the time. Replication metrics and notifications. Guys, if you enable this, then only I showed you, no? In that permission section, we have replication metrics. I mean, in metrics section. So that will get enabled if you enable this. Metrics is enabled for monitoring purpose. Delete marker replication. Guys, if you want to delete from here and that same delete some and other bucket should also get deleted the objects. If you want the replication, what is delete marker replication, guys? How do you get the delete marker? When your original object got deleted, then only you will get the delete marker, correct? And that delete marker, if you want to replicate to other bucket, you replicate it. That meaning obviously the object will get deleted over there also, correct? If you want this kind of options, you can go for it. Otherwise, leave it. Metadata replication also same. So everyone understood all these options? Chitima, all clear? Non-IT. Okay. So this is how you create a replication rule. So I'm just clicking on save. This is what I'm saying. So replicating existing objects. Do you want to replicate the existing objects? If you said no, no need. If you say yes, you can. And also you have an option called, you can enable a one-time batch operation jobs from this replication configuration, replicate objects that already exist in the bucket to synchronize the source and destination. So if you click on yes, so it will do the one-time batch job operation. All the objects will get replicated. Do you see this here? So this is called, do you see this here? Batch operation. So if at all you want to write an automatic run when the job is ready, and if you want to just simple create a role, so the report will be generated. So one time operations will happen. That meaning existing objects will automatically get created. But if you don't want, just cancel it. If you want, save it. What you need to do? Nothing. Automatically run the job when it is ready. Once I click on save, it will run. Otherwise, wait to run the job when it's ready. So when whatever is required, completion report. What are the objects that got replicated? All the reports will be generated in the bucket. Permission it will. So I'm not creating any existing rule. I'm not creating any rule to replicate the existing objects. So do you see this here now? So my existing object will be replicated? No. So now I'm trying to upload one file, which is image6. Can you tell me this will get replicated now? Guys, which one will be replicated? 1 or 6? Or both? Only 6. So let's go to bucket 2. Ooh. No, bucket 2, it's not replicated yet. Let's wait. Do you see this? Do you see image6 here in bucket 2 got replicated? So only objects which are created after the CRR rule will get replicated. But if you want the existing objects should be replicated, you can create that one-time batch operations. So is this clear how to do this replication? So we have created. So we have created LCM rules. We have created replication rules. This is inventory configuration. Guys, inventory configuration meaning inventory. What is inventory? If you want to know what are the objects you have, what are the details of the objects, how many objects are there, all the inventory of your bucket. So if you want to create an inventory and schedule a report, it will send a report. So click on create inventory, give the name, and then in which account the destination report will be there. And bus, you want it frequently report, daily report, weekly report, and you want the report should be in CSV format or some other format. And what are the things that it should include? If you want specifically looking for some metadata fields, select these things. Otherwise, a plain report. But this report will take 48 hours. Don't do it. So if your manager asking, hey, can you give me the report? What are the things that you have in the bucket? You can generate this report. It is just for reporting purpose. City, is this clear on the management? Did you guys studied on access points? Anyone? What is this access point? No one? Hmm? You there? No one did, huh? What happened? I don't want assumptions. Will you at least do this on the weekend? It's very simple. If you read that line, you'll understand. I'm just surprised, yeah. Please. It's for your purpose only. I can teach you in a minute. But you should understand, you should know how it should get troubleshooted, and you should know how to explore the new topics. Okay. No, it is not about Googling and show it to me. Yeah. Yeah. So please, please see what is this access point, right? And then how do we create the access point? Okay. I'm just leaving this for you. Yes. Is this clear, guys? Everything now? How do you set up everything, all the options in S3? Okay. So will you take some task on this? So yes. Okay. There are good tasks here or the weekend for you. Okay. Simulation of a course. If you send me an email, Sirisha or someone, so I'll send you the index.htmls if at all you want. So this is the process of setting up course, right? And then life cycle rules, set it up, CRR implementation, bucket 1 to bucket 2, bucket 2 to bucket 3, bucket 1 to bucket 3. I want you to implement this. I did bucket 1 to, it's just creating a rules and selecting the buckets. Okay. Create 3 buckets and try to implement the CRR. SRR also try to implement in the same region. And the exploring task here is, can you create 2 IAM users called user 1 and user 2? You can, right? And can you also create 2 buckets called user 1 bucket and user 2 bucket? You can do it, right? Create 2 buckets. And I want so you log out and log in with the user 1. Whenever you log in with user 1, you should be able to access only user 1 bucket. Whenever you access user 2 bucket, you should say access denied or no permissions. He should not be able to access. Same thing. When user 2 has logged in, he should be able to access his own bucket, not other buckets. So I'm giving you a hint. There are 2 ways to achieve this. One is to create an IAM policy, or you can also try with bucket policy. I want you to do this exploring things. Yes. And then access point setup and download S3 browser. Guys, I told you. So these third-party tools are very much available, but my favorite tool is S3 browser. You no need to go to S3 create buckets all the time there. This is third-party tool where you can go ahead and then add a new account, right? New account. sorry, add a new account. So you have your access keys and secret keys, no? So you just provide access keys and secret keys and just click on add new account. Once you add the new account, all the buckets will be listed over there and all the operations you can do it here only. Upload, download, delete new for refresh. All you can drag and drop, you can do here itself. Okay. And same thing, you can download Fast Glacier that is used to create vaults in Glacier. Just download it, create a vault and delete it. Don't do much there. This is to access Glacier. This is to access S3 browser. Will you do this? Okay, I just put it in the chat. Take the task. You should be an expert by now. No try, Srinivas. You should strongly say, yes, we will do it. Yes. We'll also learn CLI commands. Okay. No, it's a free tool, Srividya. So tomorrow, should I conduct the class? So the question is wrong. I should not ask the question, right? I should say yes or no. So are you, so they're all mixed. But you have a lot of time to practice, right? So for practicing purpose, we no need to skip. Okay, let's do one thing. We'll take the class, okay? And then we'll take a short topic, and then you have a weekend to complete the practicals, okay? So tomorrow we have a class, and tomorrow we'll talk about CLI. Okay? Tomorrow we'll talk about CLI. So this S3 and CLI, you should complete it by the weekend, and on 23rd we'll take other service.